The Khilji dynasty is the next dynasty in line, and Jalaluddin Khilji was very appreciative of scholars, wise people, and artists. Now let's take a look at all three of these. Scholars are people who know their content, who know the area of what they are studied. Wise people, on the other hand, are people who can make the right decisions at the right time. Wise people are good counselors, are good guidance people who offer guidance and counseling so that you can make a better informed decision about whatever the issue may be. A wise person is a problem solver also. When you have problems, you go to somebody wise, you share your problem, and you learn from them, and you have options then to choose in order to solve your problems. So scholars and wise people are not the same. Okay? You don't need to be a scholar to be a wise person. However, I don't know if the opposite is true. It may be. But scholars, wise people, and artists. Artists are creative people. They create, whether it's a painting, whether it's a sculpture, whether it's a structure, whatever it may be, creative people come about. So, when we look at scholars, wise people, and artists, we are looking at people who can do creative thinking, who can do critical thinking, and who can do lateral thinking. So thinking was promoted at that time. We lost it somewhere along the line, and we need now to regain it. How do we promote lateral thinking, critical thinking, creative thinking in our students today? Where do we find the scholars? Where do we find the wise people? Where do we find the artists? They are there. It's not as if they don't exist today. They do exist today, but you need to really seriously find them. Jalaluddin Khilji himself was a good poet. So he himself was interested in language, was interested in communication, because that's what poetry is. It's communicating your emotions, your feelings, your notions, your ideas about something through poetic language. He set up a library in Delhi and appointed Amir Khusro as its supervisor. Now imagine a library being set up. A library means books. Where did these books come from? They came from the previous dynasties of the Muslims, the current Khilji dynasty, and putting them in a library meant they would be available, they would be safe. If people wanted to read something or find out something, they knew where to look. Instead of going all over, trying to find this and that, putting it in a library and centralizing all available literature, poetry, historical writings, scientific writings, and etc., was a step in the right direction. The library was key to the Khilji dynasty contribution to education because it set a trend, and then other libraries will come about later in other parts of the Muslim empire and beyond the Muslim empire. Alauddin Khilji himself was not a literate man, but he patronized art and literature. Again, we see another example of somebody who does not like something but is not against it. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's bad. And as a ruler, he was not a literate person, so he probably did not understand literature, but he still patronized it, he still promoted it, he still encouraged young people in his kingdom to write. Many scholars worked and taught in madrasas during this time. So again, it was not just anybody teaching in the madrasas. Scholars were brought in to help young people learn even in the madrasas, and that is an important thing. Instead of just leaving it to the religious scholar, yes, the religious scholar was needed to give religious Islamic education, but other scholars were needed to offer other areas of education to the young people so that they could develop into holistic individuals.